Hello and welcome to this first tutorial of Wundertest. This is like, let's say you've been invited to your organization, logging into Wundertest. You go to test cases, you see there's nothing created yet. So how do we start off with Wundertest? We want to be able to, our goal is to be able to cover multiple parts of our application, especially critical flows. And for these critical flows, we should have test cases. And so I'm going to do the example of Airbnb, and let's start like with the first important critical case, which would be to go through the booking flow. Maybe we can think of like a specific scenario. So I'm going to do maybe book a flat in Paris. And now we can type in the URL where we want to start from. I'm going to start from the Airbnb website. And the third option here is the saved sessions. This would be if you, for example, want to have a logged in user test something within an application. I'm going to cover that in a different video. For now, we just want someone fresh coming to the Airbnb website. Now, if you press continue, there's a Chrome browser starting in the cloud for us to be available. And there's different options here, but the important thing to focus on here are the steps on the left side. Right now they're completely empty. These are the steps that we want to go through in our test to verify. These should be logical steps that you could tell a person so that they can then go through the flow and know each time what action to perform. So right now each step would be related to an action or maybe a verification. So we wanted to book a flat in Paris. So let's start off clicking here. So let's say click on where, and this should also be like a description where we think this is not gonna change. And here it is able to find that right away. And here's a list of different cities shown right away. Maybe this is a part of the booking flow that we actually want to verify. So let's say verify, you see a list of cities with their landmarks as icons next to them. So we don't have to be very specific. We can be specific. We could be like, verify there's Paris, Prague, Barcelona, all these details, but we don't have to. We can just say, this is what generally should happen. And now you can see down here is a verification, and it says the screenshot clearly shows a list of cities with representing a famous landmark of that city. So it's able to understand this. But now let's continue with it and say, actually we don't need to type anything. We could type something, but in this case we could also say like click on Paris. So actions are like clicking, typing, scrolling, and we can also do verifications. And now we can see like a date selector, and here we can also say something general like click on an available date. We don't have to write like specific codes dealing with dates or anything. We can just say choose an available date. And similarly now we can say click on a date 4 days from the selected date, and it will recognize, okay, seeing the screenshot or the application and seeing this is what I selected, and now I have to select 4 days from now, and from the 1st of June this is the 4th, so this is correct. Now I suppose the next step would be like click on search button, and now we see the search results, and in this case it's kind of loading a little bit, so we also maybe want to include like a 5 seconds wait. By default there is already like waits in between steps, but if you know something takes a little bit longer, it might be good to include specific waits. And maybe now we want to verify and say like verify, you see a list of flats and a map with prices. Again, like the level of how detailed you want this to be is entirely up to you. It can understand very generic prompts. It could also understand things that are more specific. And again, it is able to like verify that these elements exist. So maybe for now we're kind of happy with this. So now we can, one way we could do now just to do like a test run, which is this button up here. So a test run would be, I want to run this test case that I have specified. And after we press this goes into like the running mode. And we can see it everywhere in the application on the side over here. And when we have set up notifications, we could also wait for like maybe Slack notifications or something. But again, that's a topic I would cover in another video. So this is a test run. I'm also going to go more into test runs in another video as well. But just for now, a test run is just, we can select one or more test cases to be run. And if you go into this again, we can see this is running the Booker flat in Paris. And we can see here live what is happening. It's doing the steps that we specified. And I also, now it's already waiting 5 seconds, so it's basically already done. But I already ran a similar test earlier, and this is like if it's passed, it would look like this. And you can also look through it in hindsight. The next important thing would be, of course, what happens if actually something went wrong. We specified our test, we ran a test run. But there's an error or like something that the test notifies is wrong. What will happen then? But again, I will cover this in another video. But this is how you create like a simple test case.